Get ready for the next battle. Put down the sticks, survival of the fit. You about to get smashed on, probably get flipped. Probably get kicked, so you probably gon' lose, so you probably about to quit. I need that, I knock 'em down, running homie, I knock 'em down, knock 'em down.
Strobe Quintarian here. The FGHQ Discord group that I am in presents. It's a mode that we call Siege the Castle. Almost kind of like an RPG-ish kind of version of Tekken.
No, God!
And you might be asking yourself, what the hell is a RPG version of Tekken? Well, it's pretty much, we play Tekken, but we kind of add some special rules to make it a little bit more interesting. So there's different roles that certain people end up having, and basically it's a one side versus another team, and so there are different roles which will allow people to be able to implement different special rules into the match to kind of make it a little bit more compelling. So it's supposed to have anywhere between 12 to 14 players, so up to 7 players per team, 6 at a minimum per team. So 2 players are picked to be the kings, and there is a coin flip to decide who picks first, and then after that, each of the kings decides who their team is going to be, so they end up picking them out. Now, they have to be decided between different classes, and so there are 6 classes to choose from, and you can only assign 4 to your team members. The others will simply be foot soldiers, also known as the first 2 standard Tekken World Tour rules. So kings overrule any decisions by any of the players make. If 2 of the same classes fight, a coin flip is used to determine whose skill active is determined first. If a teammate dies as if they're eliminated, then the next person will move up in order, pretty much like a snake or Jenga block. And your class's skill is refreshed once you're cycled through. So the first class is the warrior. It said whoever fights a warrior needs to beat them in a first of 3, but the warrior only has to win a first of 2. Other than that, standard Tekken World Tour rules apply. The necromancer, they can resurrect one member from either team to join their team. So for example, if a player from the opposing team is killed off, but they're a really strong player, the necromancer has the potential to resurrect them but then use them on their own team. Now, if the necromancer dies, this ability, they can't use this ability, and they can only use this ability when 2 or more members from their side had fallen. They can use this ability at any time after they've lost 2 players from their side. So there's the archer, and the archer can fight whoever they want regardless of the lineup. So basically, if you're an archer, you can basically pinpoint anybody in the order and fight them right then and there. The rogue, so they can use weapons, change the stage whenever they want, and switch characters whenever they want. If 2 rogues fight, then they both get to choose a stage to ban, and then they will coin flip to see who gets to choose the first stage. And they alternate until both get their turns. Afterwards, it's a random stage select. So Jester, this class is disguised as another class. If the enemy targets this player, the trap is activated. Both players have to select random for a character and stage, and it's a first to 1 only. So the Jester is, you don't know who the Jester is until after you select them, and then it is surprise, surprise, juice in your eyes, and you have to then first to 1, and it's random. So it could be a really strong player, but they might get someone they have no idea how to use, and the Jester might get somebody that it's their main or secondary or somebody they're decent with. Now they have the Cleric. The Cleric can heal 1 lost match to 1 fighter during a set. So if a character loses a match, the Cleric can heal that player and remove that loss. This can only be used after the Cleric wins a set. So the Cleric essentially has to charge up their power, and then basically if it's like a first to 2 and the person on their team loses, they can grant them another life. They can heal them and return that lost match. So then it becomes a first to 3 for that character. So it gets really interesting when you start thinking about, like, you know, maybe buffing a character like the warrior, for instance, right? So the cleric goes, they win, they have that charge, and then the warrior goes, and so the warrior has to win a first to 3. They win the first one, or they lose the first one, the cleric heals them, or they lose the first 2, and then the cleric heals them, and so now the person has to beat him 2 more times as opposed to only beating him 3 times. Now they have to beat him 4 times. And then once a party member loses, they're out of the game unless a necromancer resurrects them. The matches are played out until the king has no defenders left. Then whoever is left alive, they must fight the king in the first to 3. So the last man standing, the king, is also one of the strongest ones. And basically the king has to run the gauntlet by himself until either the king is defeated or the king runs through everybody and then defeats the other king. And the last king standing ends up winning. So that is the Siege the Castle mode that was designed by the FGHQ Discord. That's the explanation of how it goes. And hopefully you enjoy this. So until then, catch you next time.
I need that. I knock 'em down.